welcome back. Another day, another vlog. Great to have you back for another week. Hope you've all had a restful weekend and all ready to go for another week. It's a big week planned this week. We've got WWDC happening for Apple. It's a big developers conference, but we all know it's going to have some big news for products in regards to the MacBooks, the Pros, the Pro version. So much like the beast here, the new version of that with this, with the M1, M1X, M2, whatever it's going to be called, we'll find out this week. So it's going to be a big week. Video's going pretty well. Finished the photos yesterday after work. I've just started on. I was just going to start on the video. I've got it all ready to go. I've just got to get in and get it all done. So should be good to go for the end of this week. I'm not going to rush it. Obviously, fly home this week, so the changeover back to that and the first time back, it's going to be a little bit tricky swapping back. So I figured I would just push it out. So it should be ready to go by Friday. I don't see any dramas with that. I should be able to nut it out by the next 2 days before I fly home, and then have it ready for Friday. That way it gives me a bit of chance to catch up and get ready for the next week and try and get back into that routine a bit. So looking pretty good there. Some amazing photos. Super stoked how some of these photos turned out. So Bluff Knoll, and I also got to shoot quickly back to the Natural Bridge in Albany on the way home from that big hike. Was an amazing day. I had a ball. Some of the most beautiful views, 1,100 meters up. Crazy stuff. So very cool. Going to be a big one. Definitely one you don't want to miss on this bucket list adventure that we undertook in January. So very cool. Rightio, look, big news. Friday, I guess Friday night it sort of come out. Guy or someone in America went to a Walmart and noticed they had a Mini SE model. Looked very similar to the Mavic Mini. Well, straight away, smart person, bought it, uploaded the photos, went viral, crazy stuff. Walmart has yet again sold a brand new Mavic product that has not been released. Still hasn't been released by DJI. It's the Mini SE for $300 US. You basically get a Mavic Mini, because they've taken the Mavic away from it, for, I'm assuming only, and the internet assumes, because of the upcoming Mavic 3. Excuse me, I'll just turn this down a bit. So with that Mavic 3 Pro coming out, it looks like Mavic will only be set up for the Pro versions, or the better versions. This Mini SE, everything's basically exactly the same. Specs, the drone, everything's the same, except it's half the price, and you get the Mini 2 controller, which is also the Mavic Air 2 controller as well. So the only thing I'm not 100% sure on is if it's got ocuvsync 2, like the Mini 2. It doesn't have 60 frames a second in 2.7K. So it's exactly the same as the base model Mini, just half the price. So if you're going to go out and buy a Mini, do not buy a Mini this week. I can't imagine DJI holding off too much longer. If it was ready to sell in the shop, it must be ready to go. I'm expecting a announcement from DJI this week to release it officially, and that will see basically the end of the Mini, because this thing's half price and exactly the same thing. So it'll be the end of the Mini. So you'll have the base, you'll have the SE, and then you'll go up to the Mini 2. I'm assuming that'll stay at the same price point. That may even drop down. They may even decide to bring that back down, because you'll have 300 US, which is about 380. Just under basically $400 Australian for the Fly More combo, and then a big jump up to the Mini 2, which was 1,100 I think when I got mine, for the Fly More. So that's a big jump, and you're really only getting 4K. So I'm expecting the Mini 2 will drop down in price too, to maybe 800, which was the old Mini price. So that makes a lot of sense. I think they'll get a lot of value adds out of doing that. I think a lot of it's come to the point where, well, they've got a lot of competitors in the cheap market, sub 250 gram drones, very similar features to the Mini, but half the price. So these guys, DJI's come in and go, well, we can fix that. We're big enough now to go, we'll just take a cut, this is easy, and they will sell bucket loads at $400 for a fly more combo as an entry-level drone. You're not going to get any better. You get the best software, the best support, the best service. They're amazing. DJI has really gone out in this one. And look, big leak from them. Be interesting to find out what happens actually to Walmart if they've got to pay a fine. This is the second time they've done it. I think it's Best Buy has actually released one of their last units. Might not have been Walmart, but yeah, that's twice it's happened in the last couple of drones. The Mini 2 was caught in a Best Buy, I think, and then the Walmart now has had a stock on the shelf before it's even released. So I'm sure there's NDAs there, and in that there'll be some sort of fine or some sort of thing that DJI can hit them up for a big check. Walmart probably can't afford it. If anyone can afford it, Walmart can afford it, but pretty interesting anyway. So if you were going to buy a Mini, do not buy a Mini in the next week. I think that's all you have to wait, and you will be getting a half-price Mini with a better controller. So that's really good. So good news there. Now, as we discussed at the start of the show, WWDC is coming this week. It's a developers conference. We're going to hear about all the different software. Normally it's VR and AR and all the technology and all the stuff to make what the developers are getting to them so they can then make the products for us, the software, the apps, the games, all that stuff that we put on our phones and our computers. These are the guys that get in there, and this is Apple saying, hey guys, we've done this, so make it easier for you to do your job. That's the big gust of it. It's a 3-day event. It's going to be all online again, but they have historically released a few items, and the big news is they're probably going to release the 14 and the 16-inch MacBook Pros with that M1 architecture, whatever model it's going to be, whatever version, whatever cores and stuff like that. You never know, Apple. They're actually really good at keeping stuff under wraps. We know it's going to have this is going to finally get the new style. So we're going to go from the skinny rounded off edges with the curved edges, which is a pain in the butt to do your skin on as well too, to a squarer, flatter. Now, ideally, it should be like an iPad, purely square, flat, basically stand on the edge. It should stand up. But a couple of, I guess, renders and stuff lately, it sees it even. It's still got a bit of a curve on it. I don't know why. The square. Everyone loves the square shape. The Apple 7 Watch is going square. Hopefully, it is going to be the square version. There's 2 different renders out there. Depends on what we get, I guess. So we'll find out a couple of days. Won't be long at all. So yeah, for us in Australia, it's the 8th of June at 3 a.m. in the morning. That's East Coast. So if you're on the WA side, that's going to be 1 o'clock in the morning on June the 8th. So won't be long. What's today? 7th? Yep. So tomorrow morning. Cool. Very nice. Very nice. So yeah, lots of stuff there. Now the other things we got is I think we might hear about possibility of having a passport on your phone. Let's talk about that. Apple wants to introduce that, how that works with the different countries. Obviously, you've got to apply for your passport, have all the different IDs, and you've got to pay the fees and all the money that the company's going to lose. It's going to be on your phone. Is it safe on your phone? They've got a lot to work out, but there are rumours Apple's trying to work out a passport application that you can carry with you everywhere. So that's a pretty cool thing. Might be quite handy. iPhone 13 apparently getting 1 terabyte storage as well. That's a big thing. Look, I use mine now for video. Shoot in 4K and in log on the Moment app. So you do get multiple gigs every day. If you did keep them, it doesn't take long to fill up your phone. When you do a big shoot, when I do a lot of videos and stuff on the one day, I can put at least 30, 40 gig of data straight onto the phone. I normally clear it out and offload it straight away when I get home. But having that 1 terabyte storage means you might be able to leave it on there for a couple of days and not really rush or have a backup plan on your phone of certain things. So bigger pictures, bigger files, everything's getting bigger, more data. So it only makes logical sense that we have something of that, at least get into the 1 terabyte on the phone. I think it's probably not far off. So lots to happen this week with Apple. pretty much you've probably seen all the rumours and all the I guess wish lists from everyone. I just really interested in the 14 and 16 inch. Obviously the 16 inch because well, it's going to be a couple of years before I trade this little lady in, but that'll be my next model. So it'll be interesting to see how it goes, how it's actually going to go working with Premiere Pro and all the Adobe suites and the cameras and all that stuff. That's going to be the main thing for me. And if that works out in a couple of years, I'll have it all buttoned down and neat and tidy. It'll work really well. By the time I get to one, they're going to be tickety-boo, and super, super powerful. So that's pretty cool. Now, Ford is going to be, they've got a big release coming up on the 8th as well. 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Australia. So what's that, 2 hours off? 4 o'clock on the 8th. Ford's announcing a new Maverick. Now, Maverick is a synonymous name in Australia. We had them. At one stage, the Mavericks were... Ford Australia were teamed up with Nissan, and the Nissan Patrol you could buy as a Ford as a Maverick badge, and they were here for a fair bit of time, and then they sort of disappeared like all of our cars. We don't have any cars in Australia now. It's all imports only. We manufacture nothing here. The wages are way too high, so they just can't afford to do it, and we don't have enough population and enough purchasing power, so it just doesn't happen. Now, this Maverick is going to be smaller than the Ranger, which is quite interesting because the Ranger is basically the smallest ute you'd want. Well, the Maverick's going to be coming out, and it's going to be a twin-cab ute, but it's basically based on a car-type platform instead of a ute-type platform. It's going to be all-wheel drive, so it's not going to have, I don't think it's going to have diff locks. It's basically going to be like an SUV with a ute body on it. CVT auto transmission, so no fancy transmissions. We'll have off-road suspension on it, so if you do go off-roads, it'll be good for, I guess, people like me that do a little bit of light off-roading when I'm going out to take photos. I don't need a big, expensive four-wheel drive. I just need something I can chuck the stuff in. If you want to go to the tip and take your rubbish in the back of the ute, well, you can chuck your stuff in there. So I think it's a car that actually would sell reasonably well here in Australia. It's going to come out with a petrol and a hybrid. They're talking about a 2.5 litre turbo petrol, as well as a hybrid which would contain that 2.5 petrol, give you about 149 kilowatts plus 88 kilowatts of electric power. So look, I think that's a good idea. Ford has embraced the electrical and that hybrid lifestyle, and this littler version of the Ute, smaller than the Ranger. The Rangers, as it's getting more popular, cars just keep growing. For some reason, they make them bigger instead of keeping them the same size. So the Ranger's slowly getting bigger, and now they need something a little bit smaller. So I think it'll be well. Unfortunately, as with everything in Australia, it won't be coming here. It's going to be left-hand drive only, and there's no plans for it to be sold anywhere out of America. So yeah, it'll be one of those ones. If you want one, you're going to have to special import it. It'll cost a bloody packet. Probably not worth it. But yeah, look, should be good to see them. Canon Rumours are talking about new patents for some APS-C glass, which is a little bit strange, but RF mount. So a while back, there was rumours talking about, say, an M50 with an RF mount. Or even the 7D coming over and getting an RF mount and keeping that APS-C alive. There's been no really decent lenses for the M range for a couple of years. I think the last lens they released was the 32mm. It was a fantastic lens, but there's zero zooms. You get a 55 to 200, or I think there's another one 18 to 250 or something, and that's pretty much it. There's no wide angle zooms. The 2011, the 22 is okay, but by the time you crop it, get the crop factor in. It's sort of, it's not really that flash, and they're not really awesome. The best lenses to come out for that M range of the APS-C was the Sigma lenses. That 16mm that I had was the best thing. The 32 and the 50 were all amazing lenses. The Canon ones are okay, but nothing amazing. Not L series sort of level, I guess. So it's a little bit interesting that they're thinking about this. There was 4 patents, I think, on Canon Rumours. It was a 15 to 45, an 18 to 45, which he was sort of familiar with, he'd heard about. A 16 to 45, a 20 to 45, all 4.6 to 7s. So very similar to like your EFSs and your current ranges of your M lenses for the zooms. Look, a 15 would be perfect. That would be great. Obviously, that crops out to maybe like a 20, so it's still not really a wide. There's still no wide ones. You need 11. You need a 10 up to a 10 to an 18 or something, to make it worthwhile to get a nice wide one. But I just don't know. APS-C, look, it works. It'll work really well for video. It's the photography, and I've noticed a massive difference going over to the RP. Going full frame from APS-C, when you start working with the files and you start getting in deep, you can actually see the difference in the files. I believe it's personal, I guess. Some people say that APS-C is fine, especially depending on where you want to put them. The way I look at it, I want the best possible I can get, and the full frame is the files are just so much less noise, so much cleaner. This could all change once they go SPAD sensor, but yeah, then you don't have to worry about noise. That will then make a big difference. Then APS-C will probably work out really well. It'll be nice and light and compact. But yeah, I'm just not sure. Unless they're going to commit to this and actually bring out some decent glass for that whole M range, even if they make it APS-C, that's fine. They could do it. I just can't see them do it because they really haven't cared about that APS-C range for the last couple of years. I don't know why they start taking an interest now when everyone's sort of moved on. We're all really going towards the full frame, the R range, and they've got plenty in there to keep everyone busy. So they can get those prices down on the Rs, on the RP and the R, and then the rest of them, as the rest of them roll out, I think they'll get plenty of people in there. So see how we go. And the last one, at least over on Canon Rumours as well, a pretty cool one actually. EF 1200mm L series lens, a 5.6 is going up for auction. Now, look, you see the thumbnail of it. You go, oh, it's a big lens. What's so important? Well, this thing was built in 1993. When they sold it, it was a custom build. It took them a year to build it. They had to grow the fluorite crystals just to make each one of these lenses. Canon Rumours seems to think there's probably only maybe 20 of these in existence. They come out, they were $100,000 US in 1993. He said they've seen a couple out for auction and sale in the last few years at 150,000 plus. This thing is in mint condition. You can go check it out on Canon Rumours. It looks $1 million. What an amazing bit of glass. Obviously, a very specialised lens for people that require that. Are going to need a big wallet. I would not imagine anything less than 200 to 250,000 US dollars once this thing goes up for auction. For the condition, the quality, just the collector's item value of it, I guess. It's something that rare and that higher quality. Apparently the pictures are amazing. The reviewer's seen on it. The quality of the pictures that comes out is amazing. You can use the double adapters or the extenders on it, so you get like 2400mm. So that's just crazy in an L series lens. So yeah, very, very cool, and just a little bit of fun in that one. I thought it was very cool. 100,000. Would you pay $100,000 US? That's like 150 grand. This thing's gonna sell for nearly $500,000 Australian dollars by the time it goes, I reckon. That's insane. You couldn't buy a house anymore in Australia for that. You could probably buy a Tesla if you sold it. So maybe he wants to buy a Tesla or an F-150. Anyway, that's it for me. I will see you all again tomorrow for another show. We'll be coming this way, that way. See you tomorrow. Peace.